Hi.
How's it going tonight?
Not too bad. How's everyone been doing?
Pretty good.
We're fantastic. Yeah.
We're just talking about Mac's cats.
Okay.
Talking about pets.
Do you have any pets?
I have one dog. Yeah, his name's Marty.
Nice, good name. What kind of dog?
Marty or Smarty?
Marty with an M. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he is, we think, a Lhasa Apso, so maybe with some terrier and Shih Tzu in there, maybe.
Very nice.
Nice.
I think here I can get a picture for you guys.
And how old is he?
He is, I think, 10. Last time I checked, he's a little bit older. Let me see. Gotta have a picture here somewhere. Just trying to find a good picture of him. I have a whole bunch of screenshots that I have to sort through of other stuff on my phone.
Yeah, we don't have any pets, but I can't keep plants alive to save my life. But my daughter, on the other hand, has gotten into plants, so my house is now covered with plants. And I said, enough. They're everywhere.
This is Marty.
Oh, he's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah.
He's fluffy.
Yeah, he's a fluffy dog.
And what were you saying about Mac's cats? How are his cats? How are your cats doing, Mac?
They're good. We were just discussing, like, I've moved in with my girlfriend, so I've gone from 1 cat to 3 cats, and
okay,
all of that fun stuff. So they're all good. They're all like the same age, and they all like get along well, and everybody plays and stuff. So it's very nice, except when it's all like going off at like 5 in the morning. So
midnight zoomies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has it been a busy day with keeping the sessions going? I guess it's a lot of hard between the downtime of sessions just to keep everything flowing, eh? Busy days for you guys.
Yeah, they're pretty busy days, but it's they're fun, like the sessions are great.
Yeah.
And when the sessions are going on, all we really got to do is listen to them, and they're awesome sessions. So it's life's pretty good, no doubt about it.
Yeah, we've had some interesting presentations, haven't we? It's just amazing how many different educators the program draws in. I find it's such breadth across society. I find so it's.
I was gonna say too is like, yeah, it's a nice testament to like the program actually touches like a bunch of different fields, right? Like we have like geologists, we have people like Lily today, and Liam telling the storytelling side of things. Like it's a neat way to like look at the whole, this ecosystem as a whole.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's the big web for sure. Hey.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any like stand out for your favorite presentation today, or hard to say?
I have looked at far too many names and I'm forgetting everyone's. Lily's was good, but I might have recency bias just because it was like super recent. Liam's was also really good, but I'm a sucker for the storytelling side of things, obviously being in communications, so I knew that was going to be fun. Grant, that was his name. Actually, all of them today were really good. Grant's was super good too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed seeing Liam's photography. That was really fun.
Yeah,
I think
he's got some great ones too. I can share the link to like we have like they call it like the public reservoir. So we have like a site where like all of SY's photos live, kind of stuff. So you get a link to your specific ones from the expedition, but they all kind of live there in like JPEG format if you want to go look at more Liam's stuff.
Sure, that'd be great.
Expedition.
Yeah, I'd love that.
He also has a really impressive Instagram account too.
He does. Yeah.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I think it's funny. I find it so funny how modest all the photographers I've encountered through SOI are. They're always like, oh, I'm pretty okay, and it's like it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think
if I had like the picture that we're using for our homepage, like if I took that thing, I think like I don't know what I would do. Like that's a beautiful picture.
One of my
print that you can get made.
Yeah, like I would be bragging left, right, and center.
I think that's part of though, like the magic of what makes the type of person who like has the wherewithal to just like wait to get the perfect shot and just frame it the right way. Like it, I think just that patience that I've seen, and especially when on expedition, like it's funny to watch the official expedition photographers at work, and then sometimes when I was there, it's like you're watching them on one scene, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now you're in the shot.
Like I'm happy when my
Expression.
pictures aren't blurry. That's that's where I'm at with taking pictures.
I like taking pictures a lot too. I'm probably one of those people. It's funny. I'm probably being a bit hypocritical. I'm probably one of the people who downplay my pictures. But I've been trying to like think about what kind of kit upgrade to get. So I'm probably going to speak to some people in the community to try and figure out things. I actually took AP photography because I was posted to Panama for 3 years with my dad's work from 2010 to 2013. So it was a pretty interesting part of my life. Yeah.
Well, I'm
Cool.
sure Liam would give some of his opinion on what you could get for a package.
Definitely. It's always nice to find some things on sale because lenses are not cheap.
Oh golly.
So you said you lived in Panama for 3 years? How was that?
I did, yeah. It was magical. I mean, I always have loved birds, and so I was able to join up with the Audubon Society chapter down there when I was there, and just see some pretty incredible things. I'd say my standout thing was we were able to finally like see quetzals in person, resplendent quetzals, which are like such incredible birds. And we saw a nesting pair, which was really beautiful. They're these green birds with like really long tail feathers. It's just yeah.
Cool.
And you learned Spanish?
I did, yes. It's a little rusty now, I'd have to say, but yeah, I was able to pick it up pretty okay.
Wow, they are beautiful birds.
And when they're in flight, like the male would come like to the nest, and it's like no way that like, and it's like a hole in the side of a tree, so it's like no way its tail's gonna fit in. Sure enough, it just folds up inside as it turns around, and then when it flies, it kind of like waves in the air. So its tail, so it's beautiful. Yeah, it's definitely a change to go from like growing up here in Ottawa, then tropical, and then having to get used to winter again. But so definitely a thing to adapt to. But yeah, and thanks for the link, Mac.
Yeah, no worries.
How do you spell this bird?
Quetzal. Quetzal. Yeah.
Scotty, can you share a screen so we can see?
Thanks.
You can, yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah, very cool.
So that would have been in the Volcan region of Panama, which is
Like,
there.
look at
Oh, wow.
So Volcan is kind of like closer to Costa Rica. Yeah, that's
Cool.
where it is. So it's a little bit mountainous there. Where, yeah.
wow, it's like not even real.
Yeah.
Very colorful.
Indeed. So we'd see the male come by periodically with like seeds and things in his beak, just like that exactly.
Wow, it's so big. It looks like
That's
it's
huge.
like choking on it.
His eyes are so bulged out too.
If you want a bird with like really bulgy eyes, like a potoo, Potoo, that's another one we saw. And
Those
we
things are
found one
crazy.
when you get a chance, yeah.
What? P-O-T-O.
Potoo, potoo. We saw one of these guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
And I didn't see it with its eyes open, but they basically sit on like their little nest, which are like a hole in like a branch, like just dug vertically into the branch. And they will basically pretty much just sit there, and then they put their head straight up. You can see there's probably some pictures there, and they camouflage almost perfectly. And we were lucky to see them because it was during the daytime, and obviously because of their eyes, you can tell they're nocturnal birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll just sit there completely still while they sit on their nests. But they're such comical birds. They look really dinosaur-like at times. Well,
Those
I
things
guess
are
birds are
crazy.
avian dinosaurs, but
this
descendants.
one really freaked
That's
me out.
creepy.
Look
It
kind of
looks
like a
creepy.
Pokemon or something. I find like
Yeah.
they're very, very
Oh,
strange.
totally.
I guess the closest thing we would have here are like night jars.
True. Did you? Okay, so I was just in Panama earlier last year,
Yeah.
recently for a
Awesome.
vacation, and it was, I mean, great. We did the all-inclusive thing, and yes, tourism has its problems, but Panama is beautiful. The beaches there were crazy, and the warmest water I've ever been in. The other thing that blew my mind was that every day I would walk the beach, like in the morning, like with the coffee, and there would be a washed up like hammerhead shark, like not full grown, but like a little like pup
Oh
hammerhead.
wow.
And a lot of them were like poached, but not like definned, like just straight decapitated, which like to me was like,
Wow.
do they
Wow.
just consider them like pests down there? Like why? So
that-
did you ever have like, what was your like coastal experience like in Panama, or were you
I don't
mostly
know if that's like
inland?
different. Like I would go to the beach sometimes, but like that's not something I personally encountered. But I guess I could even ask at some point. I have a marine biologist friend who is down there.
Yeah, let me see if I can find one of the photos here.
I'm wondering if because like
They're
you're talking about the water being
beautiful.
particularly warm. It was quite warm when I was there, and obviously it's quite a while ago when I was still kind of pretty young, getting my kind of adult thoughts kind of forming. It was a kind of a really odd part of my life, like that coming of age kind of part of my
Yep.
life. But I think yeah, that's a little weird to hear. But I'm wondering if, like you mentioned, the water being especially warm, if temperature changes might be like changing their behaviors, maybe causing more like human encounters.
That's, yeah, very possible.
That's very unusual to hear, though. But doesn't make sense if they're not finned or anything. Like, why you just take the head if it's like a trophy hunting thing or something? Or
Well, that's the weird part. Like they would take the body, but like the head would be the thing that washed up. So it's like, I think it's just like they think they're just
Or
like a
meat.
pest. You know what I mean? Like eating the bait, or like, yeah, at least maybe they're just taking the thing to eat, the shark
Yeah.
to eat, which would be better. Yeah.
that'd be interesting to find out. Yeah.
Yeah, I never got my answer. Surprisingly enough, nobody at the resort knew.
I think last time I was there was 2019, visiting again. Yeah, just before COVID broke out, but luckily I was able to get down there. But yeah,
Was it nice to be back?
it was. Yeah, we stayed in like this old, like there's from the American occupation there. Like it's weird. It was surreal because my school, like my high school, Balboa Academy, was basically like built out of like housed in old American barracks buildings. So we stayed in a hotel, and it's kind of like the colonial style looking buildings. Like it almost looks like Spanish colonial. So they have like tiled roofs. So it's very interesting buildings, and it's nice to see with how they've kind of been reclaimed for different uses and kept the old architecture. And it's interesting to see, I think, the contrast of like more traditional architecture and a lot of because there's so many different influences in the area. Like you have the old city, which is when it used to be I guess a Spanish colony, and so it's really a really odd mix of different architectural styles I found when I was down there. Yeah. But I think that's something I'm interested in, like seeing I guess the presentation, I guess it was one of the podcasts for the 25th. I guess there was one guy who was a architect working on architecture in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's Justin. Yeah, Justin.
Yeah.
That was
So I'm
super cool.
interested to, I think when I was leaving, there was a lot of kind of more interest in like this kind of like green architecture and things like that kind of hadn't been sparked. I think Costa Rica was a lot ahead of Panama in terms of like green architecture and like ocean conscious initiatives and those kinds of things. I think they were a little bit behind the curve just because it's such a big financial kind of pocket. With obviously you had the Panama Papers come out, right, that kind of showed you that, and then the canal being there. So obviously there's the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute in Panama, which I volunteered for a little bit to do. We were doing like, I didn't do too much volunteering because I was busy with school and stuff like that, but I volunteered quite a few times. There's basically a place called Summit Zoo, which it was housed out there where they kind of, it's a conservation rehabilitation center, but they will bring tourists through to help cover the costs, obviously. But it was kind of like the lab on C3. It was like a container lab out of like a shipping container. And they were doing amphibian conservation. So it was really interesting to be able to see different endangered species of amphibians, and they actually discovered a new species of either a frog or toad. I think it might have been a frog while like on the grounds of Summit Zoo. Like that's just an idea of how biodiverse it is down there.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm interested. Like haven't looked into it too much again, but I'd like to see kind of the overlap of some of the more green initiatives to face like their unique climate problems. Obviously, with the canal, it is a big problem for things like fresh water, for drinking water, for the especially the urban populations. I think it poses an interesting problem with the expansion of the canal that was done not too long ago, where they're finding, I think there were warnings from Smithsonian scientists. And so like with sometimes there's corruption and stuff like that, it became kind of a conflict of like progress to expand for these big post-Panamax ships, which are like the biggest possible container ships you can have come through the canal. And like whether or not it was going to cause like increased salination of the fresh water, with like basically each ship has a drift of fresh water kind of like of the salt water kind of clinging to the bottom of it, and it displaces that salt water as it's coming through. And so one indication that one of the Smithsonian scientists had of this happening was that saltwater crabs were starting to populate areas in these little dips below the locks where there's these pockets of salt water getting lodged there and just kind of staying there. So it was an interesting time when we visited, where from when I was first posting down there and then going back, that it was really a changing environmental and ecological landscape where you know like so many interests were converging on this place where it's like this global crossroads for shipping. Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
What other countries have you visited?
Of course, Greenland, thanks to Students on Ice. I've been to Mexico for a little bit. Where else? We got to go to Ecuador and Peru. Out of Panama, we did a few trips like that, and then I traveled a lot within the interior of Panama because even though it's a relatively small country, there's like so many unique places. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other places. I was in England when I was a baby.
Panama's only like 300 kilometers from like the Pacific to the Atlantic at the narrowest point or something like that. Like it's like super short,
exactly.
Like a 2 hour drive or something. Yeah,
which makes sense for why the canal decided they wanted to put it there.
Yeah, really.
Is it even that long? I think it would be shorter than that.
Let me see. Narrowest.
Yeah.
Have you looked it
totally
up?
Could be shorter.
Like 100 probably at max.
I'm just thinking, like, trying to remember what they said on like the tour, because I did like the Panama
I'm only
tour.
saying that too because I got I'm here watching the screen here when you were
quick Google Maps.
So the narrowest point, it says, is approximately 50 kilometers wide. Yeah,
damn,
that's
like the marathon, just about a marathon. You could run that in like 3 hours.
I wonder if they probably have a marathon. Let's see.
That would make sense. That would be cool.
Mac, if there's a marathon, me and you are running it.
Scotty, you're lucky if you could get me to go 5, let alone 50.
It seems like there maybe is a coast-to-coast race. I'm not sure.
Sorry, so where on the map did you live, Eric?
Pardon me? I lived in Panama City, and I specifically in the Clayton neighborhood, which used to be part of the occupation zone, the Clayton. In Clayton, it's the Panama Canal Zone. And if you see, it says Ancon right there near the coast. That's not where I lived, but interestingly enough, Ancon Hill was actually, there's like American military bunkers in that hill. And then you can see the grid to the right. That's actually the old city where there's a lot of Spanish architecture that the hill overlooks near the coast there. Yeah.
How is Panama? I just, in the last few years, I've been seeing it kind of like explode for tourism, at least on those like all-inclusive sites like Mac went on. Is it I guess lots of stuff for tourism, or
Well, definitely.
yeah.
It's definitely unique in that it's got kind of a different cultural. Like I went to Costa Rica shortly after my expedition in 2016, and as well, and they're close to each other, but they're completely culturally different. I found in many ways.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
and it's quite sheltered. Panama
It is
City
too.
is quite sheltered.
I think one of the cool things, because of like how its coasts are apparently like for like marine life and things like that. I didn't really get to do any scuba diving because I'm not certified yet at this point in my life. But just for snorkeling and things like that, there's like a lot of sheltered
I love snorkeling.
Yeah. So is there much of a accent or dialect difference between Costa Rica and Panama for Spanish?
I found quite a bit, yeah. Like a lot of the slang was a lot different. Like I know that yeah, there's a lot of slang that's different, but I can't really imitate the accent.
Is this a river, or is it all man-made?
That's the canal, yeah.
Yeah,
the canal is
man-made.
completely man-made.
So most of it's man-made. So you see Culebra Cut there. That was like one of the most brutal places, and I think that was what I found annoying about being in an American school, because it was American system. I didn't find that they really talked about the colonial aspect of how many foreign workers, like foreign migrant workers, were brought in to dig this thing basically in large parts by hand, and how many people died making this happen. And so the Culebra Cut was literally like you're cutting through mountain basically. And I think it was basically, yeah, I think the French basically ended up not being able to complete it just because of how brutal it was. And they still hadn't figured out the malaria piece about like controlling the mosquitoes. And so like a lot of people were ending up kind of dying. And obviously when you're digging like this, you're going to have a lot of stagnant and still water. And then you see the big watershed there is Gatun Lake that the canal connects to. So Gatun Lake obviously will have a lot of the fresh water.
So it sheds on both sides, I would assume. It goes out through Gatun here.
And Gatun Lake is partially man-made because of the fact that a lot of the islands you see in the middle were effectively from the flooding of it to create a higher water table to be able to create the lock systems. I think there's actually a Smithsonian like I went to a Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute. It's on Barro Colorado Island. You can see it kind of there near Peña Blanca. Barro Colorado Island, right there, yeah. That has a Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute outpost. And this island is very unique in that it's given scientists the capacity to study over time. That's a very interesting place to visit if you can do that. Lots of mosquitoes, obviously. So be sure to bring like not much else other than DEET bug spray works. But it's such an interesting research station, and that a lot of the species are some of them are effectively endemic to this island. And I forget, I think the island was partially formed when the canal was flooded. So they've been able to kind of have a really unique perspective of studying species after they've been cut off and kind of isolated from the rest of the kind of mainland.
Yeah, that is really cool.
What an interesting place. Wow.
I noticed in one of the bios, I think, which presentation was the emotional brain training session. I believe I noticed in her bio, she actually worked with the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute in Panama. I noticed that in her bio.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. I think she was doing kind of like photo, I don't know if it was photo voice project, but that kind of project similar to what was being done in another session. I think, was it Maeva's session? I think that was doing photo voice type stuff. Yeah. So I think forget the name of the presenter who did the emotional brain training, but I think she was also doing Ashley. Okay. Yeah, she was doing, I think, that kind of photographic stuff in Panama. It's interesting. Over the last few days, I've been like trying to write down as much as I can. Like I noticed you, Michaela, were like getting book names down. I've been doing the same. So I'm just like really excited to like chase down all these little avenues of additional learning outside of the sessions.
Yeah, no,
I think that would be cool, like having like an SOI, if it's not already, like an SOI reading list of just any recommendations of any new books that alumni and staff and students read.
Yeah, I would love that, because I'm always looking for new books. Like I'm a big reader before bed, and I actually went and like bought Grant's book right after the presentation.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
That's
nice.
awesome.
Like, it wasn't that expensive, so I was like, oh, I'll just do that. And then he has an option to sign it, so I'm hoping to get a good little message inside.
Nice.
Yeah. But students are nice. We have a little library at the office, and like we bring it to Expedition as well, with like a variety of different, like bird books and different things that people have recommended. But it would be really useful to also have just like an alumni generated living doc of all the book recommendations that people have, almost like Goodreads, but for like I'm gonna see if I can get that in my SOI or something.
Get a nice tagline for that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I love that.
I think even just beyond books, like any multimedia like things, like just like the podcast, like I find that like you always get the best recommendations from so many people, because like obviously it spans so many different jobs and interests that and obviously like you going to buy the book, like a lot of the presentations kind of just make it sell itself, right?
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
I feel like the worst thing I found about my SOI is just it doesn't like, I feel like there's just so many other apps and like social media that's on people's radar that it's just like,
it's hard to keep up with it.
That people doesn't check,
Yeah.
So maybe it might be a good idea to brainstorm how we can, and like Facebook, like I feel like the one we use the most other than my SOI is our Facebook. And I feel like Facebook is also not that relevant anymore.
I concur, but I think that's the thing. I think just kind of encouraging maybe like just honesty for the feedback from students, because I think some students after like how important their expedition is to them, and they don't want to like offend anyone. Like I don't know if that's just my perception, but I find that just honesty and feedback might be an interesting thing, because I think have you guys found it hard, like just setting up the summit? Like were there some challenges to overcome with that?
There were challenges with the summit. I don't think it necessarily was generating like interest for presentations and stuff. For us, it was like very much the software, Event Mobi like platform. I'm also not very techie at all, so
I can speak to that as like the techie guy in the call, that this is one of the, putting it nicely, the least user-friendly design and like building experiences I've had. Like I know how to do the WordPress websites. I know how to do the analytics of all of these things. Like this one was a brain rattler, and I use that in the lightest sense of the term. Like this was from a tech side.
I'm glad you're being honest, though. I appreciate it too. I think it's nice to be able to just have this open dialogue kind of from both ends of the equation. It's funny how the presentation today was just about like human-centered design. I think that's kind of funny.
I didn't want to put Event Mobi on blast on Event Mobi, so I mentioned the Prime app instead.
Hey, it's the AI sensors come for you.
Because I'm so bad for having a million browsers opened up at the same time. And as soon as she said it, I was just flicking through all my pages. It's like, where's Mac? I gotta tell Mac about Mobi, and then my phone dings, and Mac tells me about Mobi.
That's hilarious. I actually like frequently like on the tab front have to close tabs so my computer doesn't overheat, because I've just got so many questions all the time.
Man,
I could use a session on somebody talking about how to close out tabs, because
there's a few people in this office
I feel like I have like
name names.
A part of me, and
there's certain people in the office, again, I won't name names here, Craig, who keeps like 20 different windows open, and each window has like 50 different tabs. I have no idea how he ever finds anything that he's looking for, but if you're ever in the office and you ever get a look at his computer, like it'll give you anxiety. I don't have anxiety. It stresses me out every time I look at it.
I'm going to give you anxiety right now. Just looking at my phone, unfortunately, there's like 93 tabs open right now that I have to like close.
Phone?
See, I get stressed if I have more than like, basically all the way across my thing. If they start shrinking because I have more than like the 5 that it fits, I get anxious.
There's a certain point where the
I
tab
can't
gets
find anything.
there's a certain point where the tab gets so small that like you can't hover your mouse over it to click the tab without clicking the X to close the tab. And I'm like,
no,
that's
I've
when you know
never
you have too many.
experienced that. Oh gosh.
Okay, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe this should be like a full, like they should do an episode on like and broadcast it worldwide, because it seems like it's kind of like a pandemic. I feel like
What are you talking about?
too many tabs.
Too many tabs is the next pandemic.
Like,
Yes.
I think it's just symptomatic of the fact that we're in a ridiculous like information economy of just like constantly attention versus information and just capturing attention and everything. I think I think that's what's so weird about AI right now is about like, is it really helping to kind of make less information, or are we actually having to consume like a meta kind of subversion of information with like you have the like AI is trying to solve a problem by managing the data and information, and then you have then the sub information, which is the information about the AI itself and all the different AI apps. So it's like they've created their own new ecosystem and subset of more information themselves.
It's not even like the human brain is like weirdly like moving quickly to like processing more information, but processing it in different ways and like shorter bite-sized stuff, which is why TikTok's such a hit, because like you can do a million things and like it seems like 3 seconds at a time. So there's just something about that like human need for more information, and like our brains are trying to keep up with the processing speed of computers. Like I couldn't tell you the last time I put a podcast on the other day and I realized that I've been listening to podcasts for like at 1.5 speed for I don't know how long. So I put it back to normal speed, and oh my, the conversation was paced like this. I was like, what's happening?
I thought you said 5 speed before, and I was like, it lets you go to 5 speed.
He's entering mock mode on a podcast.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's really hard because it feels like these technologies are emerging more quickly than solutions to or ways to cope with them can kind of be made. And I'm assuming it's really interesting in an office setting to have to kind of see like those things starting to leach into productivity tools.
Half the time you have to wait a minute too, and like just wait a week and see if the snake eats its own tail that fast, because like they will, like you said, they just keep developing and developing, and like the next best thing happens, and like this like there's Twitter, and then there's Blue Sky, and then there's like every other one too. So like just wait until it's the alternative to Twitter. It's the less toxic
Canadian version of Blue of Twitter, isn't it?
I don't know if it's Canadian.
I think it's also founded by Jack Dorsey as well, who's like
the original
Twitter's founder as well. Like he's just kind of like, I'm going to take this concept over here and just do it again.
Yeah.
I find it really weird too, where it's like you're like on a Meta app and then or a Facebook app. It's really weird because the tech bros just love changing the names all the time.
More so than that, and more frustratingly, they keep changing like the user interface on the back end of stuff. It's like just leave it where it was, man. You don't need to move the
Twitter just did
as
it.
It was.
Twitter just did it with the buffering for videos, and I'm like,
even Instagram, like moving the messages to like the center thing now. It's like, why? Just leave that as like the plus button. The messages was always there.
I have to sign off right now.
Okay.
But Eric, lovely to chat, and all you SOI folk, lovely. And we'll hopefully chat with you at 12 o'clock tomorrow.
Sounds good.
If you're available.
See you tomorrow, Scotty.
Cheers.
Are we reaching? Okay, yeah.
Where's he at? He's still here. He's gone.
Okay. As long as I'm not keeping you guys like chatting, if you guys are like busy for tomorrow.
No, I've got nothing to prep for tomorrow. I'm just gonna hop off at the scheduled end time here, just because I gotta make dinner and
sounds
I have
good.
Cats to feed, and they don't know what daylight savings time are. So
true, and obviously they're gonna demand the food to fuel up for midnight zoomies.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
you sound like a man with cats.
I don't have cats, but I've got lots of friends with cats, so I like to be well versed so that I can always relate. It's funny how people have conversations like that about like cat versus dog people, but I think a lot of SOI people are just animal people in general.
My family always had like dogs growing up. I'm allergic to cats for the most part, actually. And then this guy kind of like wandered up to my mom in like her backyard and just kind of was like super friendly. And the winter was approaching, and he's this black cat outside at Halloween. I'm like, well, he can't just be outside in like the winter too.
Okay.
How you doing? See you around, Hazel.
Yeah, good chat.
So yeah, he just wandered up, and he was just too cute and too friendly not to take in. So that's
cat
how I got my cat.
System.
The cat distribution system hit me. Like the last thing I did too before I like made sure mom's like, oh, you gotta come see him. So I went and visit him. I picked him up and I just shoved my face like in his belly, just like rubbed my face all around. And I was like, we'll see what happens in the next 30 minutes. If nothing happens, then he might be able to come home.
That's awesome.
It was an allergy test.
I definitely did the allergy test.
Yeah. That's so cool. I'm still frustrated about learning, like going back to the like app thing before Scotty just dropped out there. I was just thinking about like the interface. I think it was just yesterday Instagram changed its interface and it was pissing me off pretty bad.
It's just like,
I'm wondering,
it's just so like, it's like, I mean, I hate to like say it's like, oh, it's just the tech guys trying to keep their jobs and like make work projects and stuff too. Like you have actual bugs to fix here. Like we don't need to move the message button over there.
I'm wondering what the reason is though. There must be some psychological reason why they do it. Do you have you read anything about it or like?
I haven't. I'm just going to guess from like what their like want of their app is more people to be on it for longer, so they see more ads. So if you spend more time messaging people and sharing content and staying on their platform, then you're going to get more stuff like that. So I'm guessing it's something to do with that because it's always down to ad dollars. Yeah,
it's a good hypothesis. I think it's definitely probably truth to it inherently, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's my cynical guess. I could be totally wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but that's my guess.
Makes sense though. I think, have you noticed too, like just, it's funny. I think just the last few months, I've noticed like a big push where there's been more changes. And I'm wondering if that's, bless you, off camera there.
Thank you. Yes.
I think there have been more changes with because of AI in terms of how fast the apps are changing their configurations now. Because like YouTube now, I think the ad, like I was just on YouTube and there's like a 90-second ad block. So it's interesting.
It's also kind of interesting too that I'm finding, like, as you say that, I'm noticing that more and more as people get upset about streaming services and the variety of things there. And as a sports fan, now that sports are back, I have to have like 5 different subscriptions to watch the Raptors play a basketball game because it's on a different thing each night. So
on a different subscription each night?
Pretty much, yeah. Like it's ridiculous. Like if you wanted to watch your favorite team play every NBA game, you'd have to spend like $500 in streaming services. Yeah, it's become criminal.
Have you been getting all? Sorry, go ahead.
So I just think now like we're so close to fully cycling back into cable that's like it's weird. And now even like the ad blocks, like you're saying on YouTube, are like back to a 90-second format, which is exactly what it was when we were on TV. Like we're slowly moving back to TV.
Yeah, it's funny though how you sometimes wonder like, will it ever reach like a singularity where people are so pissed? Or usually I think people just go along with it, right? Because it's kind of like we're a captive audience, right?
It's the norm now, yeah. And like there's a company that I get advertised for on my podcast all the time. We're used to, it's like Rocket or something, that like is another subscription that you can pay for that will comb through all of your subscriptions and be like, hey, you haven't used this in 2 months. Are you sure you want to keep paying for that? And I'm like, at what point do I not have to, like, at what point do I stop paying for the subscription thing that's telling me I'm paying for my subscription things?
I guess that's like the meta phenomenon where it's like the new layer of information subset. Like it's interesting because you almost wonder, like imagining like a scenario where somehow like far in the future, there's like all this technology, but somehow the rule of this universe is that it still works. And you can just picture like information, like digital archaeologists going down through all the layers of detritus.
I didn't even think of digital archaeology, but that's that's a legit thing.
Yeah. That would be set, like it probably is a job. It probably
already is.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That would be like, I guess it's kind of adjacent to like archival work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wonder what subsection of that. Like there is like I don't know if it's like Google or like I don't know what to call it. It's not a search engine, but like internet platform. Whoa. Sorry, my headphones just got super echoey. Search platform that like well, that's so distracting.
It's
the way back. It's a bad movie. It's the Wayback Machine. It's like a website you can go to see like what Facebook looked like in 2004 or YouTube looked like on its first day and stuff like that. So like there kind of is like an internet archival like search through kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. You kind of wonder like about collections too. Like I think someone on one of my expeditions was like in curatorial studies or something like that, or was getting into something like that. And I think you guys probably think about it just walking by the office, like into the office every day, just how vast collections of like physical items as well as digital items get kind of managed. I always think about like how much work goes into that.
Yeah, we just did like the open house at the museum, the Open Doors Ottawa, and one of the booths, I guess, set up in like the botany section was I'm going to say the scientist, the staff, the assistant, talking about digitizing like all of like the pressed plants so they can get like shared more widely for scientific purpose. She's just like, yeah, I'm just in here every day, just scanning files. We got like I don't remember what ridiculous number she said, but like just scanning all of the time.
Wow.
So yes, again, and then we'll have all of that to comb through as well.
That's
the digital archives of what plants look like. Like it's really like it is cool.
That's such a massive undertaking.
Yeah,
yes,
and the museum is actually like at its max capacity. Last I heard they were thinking about building a new building for it because they like couldn't hold any more stuff.
Oh wow.
It's like so crazy how much they have.
Yeah, it is pretty like kind of small footprint, isn't it?
Yeah, well it's very museum like. I can't really even like wrap my head around. I guess maybe if I looked at like a Google satellite view I could see it better, but it feels very museum like. I still get not museum, maze like. I still get
that makes sense. I've been a few times.
Yeah, it's such a weird building. Like the inside, when you're in there, it's like so much bigger than it looks like from the outside.
TARDIS?
And I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, it's exactly like
you
TARDIS.
go through these like little tunnels, and then there's like fish in bottles, and then you like come out through this door, and it's just like goes
and then there's
forever.
like the room like that has it's like Noah's Ark of like taxidermy, and it's like 3 walls of antlers. So I'm like, I've walked around this building every day on my lunch break for the last like 3 years. Where is this? Like, how is this? I don't know. I can get to it from the inside. I have no idea where it is, like on the outside of the building. Like, I just don't know. I don't understand. I don't have the conceptual brain for like how it fits. I don't get it.
Whoever designed it though, like really thought it through, like almost before the collection. Well, it would have had to be that before the collections were initially housed, right? But
yeah. I wonder if it's like one of those like MC Escher things where there's like such a subtle like decline that you don't notice it, but we're like 3 floors down in these like rooms of things.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive collection building. Was it when the first time you saw it, were you just like, okay, I'm working here now?
Yeah, it was because we didn't get to see like the behind the scenes at like the start, right? So you kind of just get to see the stuff that's like in like the lobby-ish area, and then like all of like the double sealed security doors. And you're like, okay, so there's cool stuff going on back there. But yeah, the first time I got to like take the tour, it was like, again, it still blows my mind how big that place is, but it was like, good, like there's just so much in there, like so much. I just don't know where it goes. So
I think
it still blows my mind. It did the first time I saw it.
Yeah, I think Michaela was just mentioning like the little library that's brought along like on expedition. I know that there's also like older polar books that have been like arranged like almost. I think they were done by like an interior designer or something last time. Like when I first saw
in the office
when they were redoing it. Yeah.
I love working in that little space.
Like a color gradient.
I never look at it's like organized by color. I think they're mostly like no one reads those books. I think they're mostly for show. But they are real books, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys know this, you probably do, but I remember like when Jeff was first broaching the topic, I don't know if they were from Fred Roots or something like that. They came from someone's collection.
Maybe. Maybe.
But basically, I think it caused a bit of a kerfuffle at the beginning because Jeff's like, I've got these books, and they're like books because they obviously don't want it to bring anything between the pages with them into the collections. So they're like, he had to negotiate with them, and then they're like, okay, they're going to have to go into our freezer for a deep freeze first. That's the only way, and they made it work in the end to finally get them in there safely.
Yeah, I heard because they have these like they did that with some there's like decorative barn wood over the arches.
Okay, like
They
reclaimed wood.
Yeah, they had to freeze it too. But I didn't hear they froze the books, but that makes sense because there's probably dust mites and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say so many
And
dust mites.
silverfish and things like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny. I was listening to the podcast. I think it was the one with Roger Bull earlier today. And it's funny because in typical Jeff humor, he's like, "Oh, we're maybe thinking about like cryogenically freezing students for the future." it's like you have to do that before you work there, so you don't bring anything with you. It was funny. It was like it was just Roger's like brain just processing what he just heard for a second, but it's so typically Jeff.
That's funny.
Not Jeff.
Yeah. It's yeah, but it was great talking to you. Are you knitting? That's so cool.
I am knitting. I've been like
Awesome.
working. Yeah. I knit to help like focus myself like as a stim. So I'm also in school. So
Okay.
it's been nice to like get like yesterday I had 10 hours of class continuous. It was like a full day of class.
Oh wow.
So I basically did this whole thing in my class yesterday. I ran out of ball. Yeah. So
I was gonna ask, are you actually in your lectures like knitting?
yes, I am known as
That's awesome.
knitting.
Do you find it helps you like register the information, kind of like people who doodle sometimes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like handwork. And if I don't, I'll like open my laptop and be browsing on Facebook, and then I'm not actually paying attention. But I find if I'm doing something with my hands, and I don't really need to take notes in class because you don't have tests, it's like all paper based. Anyways, it's been nice because I now have a couple extra sweaters that I can wear. Yeah.
So you don't need a productivity app. You have just old school productivity tool.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
so
I
like-
really, I really
What's it,
admire
the Tito
people.
app that they're advertising now. It's like the Tito app that you can like sell your stuff on now. So
Oh.
Michaela needs just like the Tito app.
I get ads for that all the time. It just reminds me of Temu. I'm not sure if it's a Temu knockoff,
Yes.
but for crafters.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm not a crafter.
I really admire.
I was also gonna say. Oh,
people
you
who
should
can
also.
multitask like that. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. You should, if you have the time, which I'm guessing you will, at the rate that you knit, you should make something for your professor, and then just try and bribe your way into a couple bonus grades. I was working on this all semester for you.
No, I don't think I'll make them. Well, I can make like a hat, maybe that wouldn't take long, but
I was gonna say, even like just a set of pot holders, like the
set of pot
cork
holders.
rest. Yeah,
I could do a dishcloth.
Just be careful.
Dishcloth,
Otherwise, sorry, it's a bit that there's a lag. That's why. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No.
Yeah, I think I'm just saying be careful. Otherwise, Jeff will want you to make all the hats for the next expedition.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I made the whole office Christmas gifts last year, kind of.
That's awesome.
It wasn't like I basically ironed on the SOI logo to like a fanny pack, but yeah, they did get me to make the Christmas gifts, which was kind of fun.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get into knitting a bit more. I've done it a little bit like casually, but I find it such a cool. I really love textile arts. I think it's really, really cool. Like especially just on expedition, you get to kind of see a lot of that too, like the different textile arts.
Yeah.
When I was in Ecuador, I saw like there was like a village where like men, like their mark of masculinity is that they can knit. Kind of like
Oh, I love
like,
that.
cool thing. Like it's like if you can't knit, you're not a man. It's literally so cool when you see gender roles with traveling. Like your brain like just expands like that to be more open and to see like how gender roles are subverted outside of like Western expectations.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
got a bit into knitting sewing earlier this year, but not like hand sewing. I'm not good enough for that. But I had a bunch of old like graphic tees that I loved the look of that just didn't fit right anymore or just wasn't, my style.
Yeah.
So I got a like microfiber strip from Fabric World or whatever, and I started making my own golf towels.
Oh, that's
Especially,
awesome.
Like
Yeah.
golf bags, yeah. So good way to like preserve the shirt like pattern that I liked and still get them out of there. And yeah, so that was my like summer project. I borrowed my cousin's sewing machine and taught
Nice.
myself how to use a sewing machine.
Yeah,
It was
I
fun.
think that's really cool. I think we've been seeing like I think a lot of ideas just floated about kind of the different creative outlets that kind of people have in Students on Ice. I've seen over the years, just since 2016. I just love the idea of maybe having some sort of like based on like the book idea, just like having some sort of creative hub. Because I was talking, I think, a bit earlier, maybe in another call a bit earlier, a couple days ago, maybe about like all the art that people make on expedition.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people like who aren't so crafty, like just like not just become scientifically inspired, but kind of maybe going into more artistic and kind of arts fields as well, and just
Yeah.
starting to create. Like I've always been pretty creative, but I found that I became like a lot more interested in journaling and a lot more interested in making things more so after expedition. So yeah.
I wonder if there's like, it's a good idea to do like a semi-annual, quarterly, some kind of something art exhibit, you know, just like showcase again the different varieties of art that we have and share like recipes and knitting patterns and stuff like that. And I think Michaela put something together like that last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I made like a little zine, art
The
zine.
zine. That's right.
Oh, that's really cool.
I've yet to print it though. I have it all designed in a PDF, but then I got busy and haven't done anything with it. But I really need to because I told people I'd mail it to them. So
It's okay, though. But I think nobody's going to hold you to that. Like you're so busy with your studies to work. What are you studying, by the way? I don't think I might have known, but it escapes me now.
yeah, I'm doing my master's in social work.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah, so
such
it's
a
like a
fascinating-
totally different way of learning because my undergrad was in biochem. So it's just like zero memorization. It's learning to actually like have the knowledge, which is super refreshing. And I don't have to be like memorizing protein stuff in biochem. But yeah, I really like it.
I think that's what I've noticed. Like, I think a lot of the time when it comes to get-togethers and things like that, people oftentimes, because of scheduling and everything, have kind of a bit of difficulty with like commitment to something that's a bit more like a bigger event. So I think just casual engagement like that, where people just check in just like that, might be like kind of the key to getting a bit more engagement in the future.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good
just like-
too.
Exactly. I think just fostering that. I think sometimes people just almost need permission too, though. I think sometimes people can get like if they're on expedition, you're kind of forward facing, and like once you get over the like awkwardness, then it's not as bad. But then I think once everyone goes back to their own homes, then that barrier kind of comes back.
Yeah.
It's like about kind of breaking the ice again. So it's hard to. I think it's just a habit, right? Too.
Totally.
Yeah, that's so awesome though. Like, is there something that kind of bridged you from the more science side to like social work?
Probably a little bit of working here. Like my role is fairly like related to social work. At least like I mean social work is so broad, but kind of like community development and programming aspects of social work. And then also in between my 2 degrees, I also went to college and did sustainable agriculture, which was also very community focused. Yeah, so I think those like SOI and then sustainable ag kind of shifted my focus to more people and community rather than like hard sciences.
That's really awesome. I think I've noticed that. Like, it seems like a lot of people, as soon as they get into SOI, then like I find all the career bios is like such dotted paths. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess you've had like a really busy day since you've had like all your studies. So if you've got to go, I understand. I think I'm starting to fade a little bit.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll if we all want to go eat dinner, I'm sure as well.
Yeah, you mentioned you
about
gotta
to say,
exactly. So
yeah.
it's great chatting with everyone.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. So take
Thanks
care.
for
Good to see you again.
doing so well in the summit and for your questions during all the
Of course,
sessions.
it got
Really
me
nice.
thinking. So thanks.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, we know the presenters really appreciate it too. So yeah, thanks again,
Yeah,
Eric. It's awesome.
Bye.
Bye.